Hello everyone, welcome. This is Amabilis Batamula, and on behalf of the Femina Hip team, I want to so very much thank you for joining us today, for accepting our invitation and joining us from so many different places across the world. Yeah, we're here at Femina Hip offices, and with me here is Ruth Mlai, our executive director. She's going to be talking in a bit, but we are also here with other team members from Femina Hip who have joined us so that we can do this together. Allow me to briefly tell you what we're going to be talking about today. I want to take you through a list of 4 key things. I want to talk to you about Femina turning 25 years. I also want to tell you the recent changes that have been happening here at Femina and the impact that we've managed to create in the last 25 years. And, last but not least, the future of where we want to go. So 30 minutes of me presenting to you, and then we will reach out to you with if you have any questions for us. You can reach us, through this email address, media@feminahip.or.tz. So, Femina Hip turning 25 years. It's been a quarter of a century. Can you believe this? Can you believe it's a quarter of a century since Femina was inaugurated? This is something that deserves a toast. And I hope you have a glass in your hand, or a cup, or a bottle of any drink that you have in your hands. Myself here, I have a cup of tea. For those who know me, I'm a tea person. So I have my cup here, and Ruth has her glass of water, and several other people have different drinks here, and together we are going to say cheers on my count. 2, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Cheers. Happy birthday, Femina. Thank you so very much for joining us on that toast. Yeah, we know we have a lot to celebrate. It's not just 25 years of Femina, it's 25 years of so much work that has been done by you, by us here. Each one of you has had a part to play at different times, in different roles and different places, and we want to celebrate each and every one of you. But now, allow me to take you on a journey. Let's remind ourselves of this journey of what it has been. So let's go. What you're about to hear is a story of passion, commitment, and reinvention. Back in 1999, we had a thought. If young people in Tanzania are supported as they face the realities of adolescence, then perhaps they may fulfill their potential, effect change, and transform society. Our job has since been to listen, engage, and communicate to them about topics that matter most. We call this the Femina Hip approach. In 25 years, we've managed to inform, educate, facilitate, develop a club model, and break the silence. Today, over 15 million young people across 28 regions in Tanzania have access to a space created by us where they can explore issues, share perspectives, and act. Since we were able to transform a thought into a platform and watch it ignite a revolution, we are confident that increasing our efforts will mean that young people will become confident change makers who are the authors of their own life stories. And this is what Femina Hip is about. Wonderful. Isn't it interesting that, that story of where we've come from, the impact that we've created, the numbers. Yeah, and, like I said before, this has been a teamwork. A lot of people have been involved in doing this, and I want to now show you a slideshow of pictures of different people who came along on this journey, and get engaged yourself. Also see if you remember the faces that you see on this slideshow. Tell us, write to us, tell us who do you remember, how many faces do you remember, and here goes. how many faces did you remember? I remember almost everyone on that on that slideshow rather, and yeah, I would like to hear from you. So send us a message, send us an email on media@feminahip.or.tz, and let us know who did you remember from that show, and we will be happy to post your messages on our social media. Fun is not over. We've been around the country collecting videos of people who have been impacted by Femina, and we're saying these are 25 videos to celebrate 25 years, and these videos are available on our social media space, are available on our YouTube channel. They're also available on our website. You can find them there. People telling stories of how Femina Hip has impacted their lives, being in FEMA clubs has changed their lives. We would like to hear from you as well. You're invited to create a video of yourself to add your voice. Share the experience of you being part of Femina Hip and its work. How did that change your life? How did you impact other people's lives by being part of Femina Hip? Let us help you. If you need any technical assistance, we will be very happy to provide that. If you need photos from old times, if you need translations, for example, to Swahili, to English, whatever you need, let us know and we'll be happy to help you with that. Again, if you need that technical assistance, send us that email on media@femina.or.tz. Yeah, I told you I was going to talk to you about 4 things. First, the celebration part, 25 years of Femina Hip, and now let's go into the second part, which is about recent changes. So the other change that has happened is that during 5 years of Femina Hip, we have had different changes happening, especially during the last 5 years. Some of these changes include change in leadership, change in the funding landscape, changing the way that we work with things like, the change from program approach to more project-based approach, and also the change in civil society that has happened in our country and, in other countries around the world as well. So it was during these 5 years that Femina Hip's founder, Dr. Minu Fuglesang, who was also the first executive director of this organization, decided to step down and hand over the baton to Ruth Mlai. It is with great appreciation that we thank Dr. Minu for her leadership and vision. We thank you so much, Dr. Minu. And she handed the baton to Ruth Mlai, who's our current executive director. And as I said before, she's also here with us. And I would like to welcome her to say hello to us. A few words, Ruth. Karibu.
Asante Amabilis. Indeed, what you say is very true. We are really grateful to Dr. Minu. I joined the organization in 2018, and I was fortunate to be able to work very closely with Minu, understand her vision for the organization, understand what she had wanted to see happening with the youth of Tanzania. And to date, over the 25 years that we've been around, we're seeing great impact happening to the young people. We've been able to reach over 30 million young people directly and indirectly through the work that we have done with Femina Hip. And this is all thanks to Dr. Minu. So Dr. Minu, kudos to you. Thank you for the vision. Tanzanian youth are better for it because you came, you had a vision, and you actually implemented the vision in Tanzania. Asante sana, Dr. Minu. Now I'm going to step off, hand back to you. I will come back later and speak some more. But for now, let me let you keep going.
Thank you. So yeah, that was Ruth, everybody. But together with her, it's me, Amabilis Batamula, and Pushpa Sheth. The 3 of us are the senior management team, guiding the team, working with the team to make sure that the visions and everything that was planned for the organization is working. So another change that happened during these 5 years is the changing. It has something to do with the funding landscape, really. We experienced the COVID-19, that that pandemic, you know, it put everything on hold. Also came the war in Ukraine, and, you know, there has been changes also within our country in terms of, you know, political landscape and the way that the civil society operates. And for a long time, we have had long-term funding from the Swedish, Norwegian, and the Danish embassies that enabled us to have a long-term planning for lasting impact. And we have also had support from many other financial and technical partners that enabled us to expand in some areas and helped us deepen our work. So the needs of young people all throughout the 25 years guided our work, and we had the freedom to develop and apply our approach. Also, it must be said, large international donors, because of the changes that have happened across the world, the COVID, the war in Ukraine, large international donors are no longer providing core support, and funding has become more project-based. So for Femina, this means there is less stability, more turnover of staff, less freedom and autonomy to determine how best to address the needs of young people. The impact of these changes is felt, of course, felt by all other civil society organizations in Tanzania. But also, we have to say that the government in Tanzania has installed, you know, the different way of organizing and, you know, how the civil society work. It's a good step to make sure that everything is streamlined and there's a way that the organizations should be working so that it's coordinated. We are all working towards the same goals. But some of these changes means that we have to put in more costs to be able to meet these requirements. It requires time to be able to do these things. That kind of limits the ability of the civil society to act independently in a way. But this is a new reality, and it's a present that we are living in now, and it poses new challenges. Challenges like, you know, we have had to reduce the number of issues and total copies of the FEMA magazine that we are printing and distributing. We have fewer core staff, where most staff are now on project-by-project basis. We conduct fewer outreach activities now. We have less freedom to set the agenda. But, you know, the challenges, if you look at them positively, they create opportunities, and for us, really, we have seen those opportunities come along. Like, we have been able to reintroduce our out-of-school program as one of the opportunities that we've taken up. We've been able to use the power of local volunteers and interns. We are looking at different ways of fundraising, you know, diversifying our funding sources, but also finding ways to do more with less. You know, it's always interesting if you're able to do more with less. So, moving on, we're talking about impact. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Regardless of those challenges, regardless of the setbacks, we still made impact. Yeah? And at this point, I want to share with you a story of a girl that we call Mary in this presentation because she's a minor. We don't want to give out her real name. Mary is not her real name, it's a name that we are using. Please watch this and let's talk about it.
Soma shule ya sekondari Chambo, nipo kidato cha 4. Mimi ni wa kwanza nyumbani na wadogo zangu 4 wote wa kike. Paka baba mimi akataka kuniozesha. Ilikuwa hivi. Nilipomaliza la 7 akasema kwamba hahitaji kuniona mimi nikiwa naenda shule kwa sababu sisi watoto wa kike anaona tuna hasara kwake. Tutaweza kupata mimba ambazo zitamtia hasara na aibu kijijini. Kinachohitajika hapo alisema niolewe, ambapo bado na matokeo hayajatoka. Wakaja kweli wakuposa. Walipokuja mimi sikuwa tayari. Niliamka asubuhi na mapema nikaelekea kwa bibi nikiwa mbio na kimbia. Nilifika huko nikawaelezea hayo matatizo. Bibi akawaambia wajomba warudi na mimi nilikotoka kwenda kumwambia baba hilo jambo haliwezekani. Baba walivyomwambia akakataa, akawaambia mleeni, ila kwangu asije kamwe, awe kama mtoto wenu, maana nyie ndio mnaonekana wazazi wake. Ndio tukarudi wote huku tena kwa bibi. Wakaanza kuniandalia mazingira ya mimi kunifanya niende shule. Kuwepo kwangu kwa Fema Club, mafunzo ya kijana jitambue yamenisaidia kujenga ujasiri mkubwa na kumthamini kila mtu na kumheshimu, haijalishi jinsia, umri alionao. Ninapokuwa darasani nafanya maswali yangu, najumuika na wenzangu wengi tu, tunaanza kufanya. Simuogopi wala siwaogopi. Nasoma kwa bidii ili baba aone uchungu wa mwanae anavyosoma, ili na wadogo zangu nao ili awalete shuleni, aone faida iliyopo kwa kusomesha mtoto wa kike, na yeye asinyanyapoe, apewe kipaumbele kama mwanaume.
Yeah, that's the story of Mary, representing many girls around the country. Every time I see this story, I think of the many girls in different parts of Tanzania who are going through similar experiences. But, you know, this is what we do at Femina. We create impact that is significant and personal, and the youth that we serve, they matter. Each one of them, individually and as a group. They also as a part of a society. What happens to them matters to us. This is why we continue to do what we do. Yeah? And we are ready to take on the challenges that we talked about. We are ready to go there. We encourage you to go to our website to look at the impact that we've created. But, you know, just to give you a glimpse of what you will find on our website, you know, we have been able to reach directly over 15 million youth, like Mary, girls and boys. And in the process of doing that, we have registered over 3,000 FEMA clubs across the country in secondary schools. And that is, you know, roughly about 50% of all the secondary schools in Tanzania. And because these youth are also supported by teachers that we call mentors. We call them mentors because they're more than teachers. They have a way of, you know, engaging young people with skills that we have given them or through the different trainings that we've done. So those teachers, 6,000 plus, we have trained them in active learning. We've trained them in entertainment education, and we have trained them in youth engagement skills, and they go and serve and support these young people. But we've done studies and researches, we've done evaluations, but the most recent study that we wanted to share with you here is the contribution of FEMA clubs in academic performance. It's all on our website. You can go have a deep dive on that, but maybe to just bring out one of the findings that we have is that more FEMA clubbers passed their exams, their Form 4 exams, than non-FEMA clubbers for 4 years in a row. And that is something we are proud of. Yeah, there is a body of evidence on our website. If you go there, you can see the studies that we've done, the internal and external evaluations, the annual reports, all of that will be able to give you another view of what we have achieved. There is also a very interesting study that was done by an independent researcher. It's called the Social Return on Investment Study, and that shows that for every US dollar, for every $1 that is invested in Femina Hip's work, there is a $23 return on investment. Isn't it? Isn't that amazing? So there is 23 times of what you invest in Femina that comes out as a social return. But, you know, that wasn't the past. We achieved that, and we want to talk to you about the future of where Femina Hip wants to go, where we're planning to go. But I won't do that. I will invite back Ruth our executive director, to come and talk to you about where is just that journey, where's that journey taking us, Ruth?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I want to I guess, talk about Mary's video. The first time I heard about that story, before we even documented it, one of my colleagues, the monitoring and evaluation team, had gone to the field, and they called me to tell me about this story. And initially, I was angered by the fact that we've been working for so many years, yet we still have parents like Mary's parents who feel that girls are commodities, who don't see the value in educating their daughters. They feel as if the girl is there to be sold into marriage so that they can gain an income, which lasts for a very short time. However, upon reflection, I also realized that we have gone a long way in our work. We've gotten to a point where girls like Mary are now confident enough to say, no, I do not want people to treat me like a commodity. I want to have a future, and I'm going to carve my own way. But going into the future, if we look at where we want to go, we've now started moving the age of the youth that we're reaching from 13 to 30. We're now focusing on the primary school. The young people are telling us that we need to speak to them, we need to give them this information, we need to train them at an earlier age, because they're experiencing body changes at an earlier age, and they're beginning to engage in early sex from a very young age. Now, we've just gotten our permission from the government to move into primary school, and we're grateful that the government sees the need for us to drop down the age at which we're engaging with young people. So that's the first thing that we have done. We are piloting this, and we're excited about this, and we know it's going to yield greater impact than we're having even now. The next thing that we want to do is to reach the young people who are in secondary schools. Out of secondary school, those who have completed Form 4 or not been able to get to Form 4, not been able to get to secondary school, but also targeting those who either have been able to get into university or haven't had an opportunity to go into higher learning. Because we recognize these youth are now seeing as having shifted from being dependent to being independent, and they have nobody to guide them through that journey. And this is what Femina Hip does best, teaching them life skills, enabling them to recognize that there is a way in which they can forge their own futures and do it in a positive way and have a growth mindset whilst they're doing it. The other thing that we're doing is starting a podcast. And we want to encourage you that come May or June, we will have our podcast up and running, and we will have it on our YouTube channel. And I think we will be sharing with you our YouTube handle very soon, so that you can also listen, you can also give feedback to what it is we're doing with the young people. We're starting a youth hub. We want to be a place where young people can come, they can learn, they can practice, they can nurture, and they can grow and become better versions of themselves whilst feeling safe and not judged. Finally, we are looking at relaunching the out-of-school program. And this out-of-school program for us is a space where we're teaching young people how to engage with the leaders within their communities. So in the past, Femina Hip used to have an out-of-school program, but we had paused for a time and done a deep dive in the secondary school space, because we wanted young people in school to stay in school, because we know that education is important for them, for their future growth. But post-COVID-19, as Amabilis has mentioned previously, a lot of things changed. We noticed that the rate of dropout for the boys and the girls was extremely high. So we wondered, where are these young people, and how do we make sure that they're not missing out on learning and growing and having an opportunity to be a better version of themselves? So we will be relaunching our out-of-school initiative and enabling these young people to learn leadership by engaging in leadership from an early age and holding their current leaders accountable, so that they understand that you don't get leadership for the sake of being called a leader, but you have a responsibility to act and help the people in your community. I think I've spoken a lot. I should leave you to keep going.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you so very much. That is a very interesting future, and we're gearing up for a more stimulating journey, really. Bottom line, we want our bus to navigate whatever bumpy road comes ahead of us. Whatever road comes ahead, we are ready for it. Because the youth that we serve, they matter. But we can't do that alone. We need your support. So, because of the girls and boys like Mary who need our help, we believe it is our responsibility to do more. We believe it is our responsibility to be a leader in civil society and to keep up with the demand of our services. There is a lot of girls and boys across the country who want to be part of the Femina movement. They want to be in the FEMA clubs. They want to be in the different programs that we do. And we need to be able to meet that demand and provide them with the services that we give. So we've launched our new donation campaign to celebrate the 25 years. And our goal is to get $100,000 in the next 6 months. And to be able to do that, we need your support. We know that you are there and you will support us. And in Kiswahili, there's a saying, they say, thank you in advance. And we thank you in advance because, you got us. Yeah? So how to donate? You go to our website. There is a link there. That's where you start. A link that says donate. You click there. And you can make a contribution based on where you choose a means that is best for you. If it's a Visa, if it's a PayPal, if you're using mobile phone, you can use iPay or you can use Flutterwave. And the amount that you enter there will show in the currency of the country where you are. So if it is in US dollars, if you're in the US, it will show US dollars. If you are in the UK, it will show the sterling pound. If you're in Europe, it will probably show you the euro. It depends on where you are. So thank you very much. If you go there, you can click there and you can donate from that side. This donation drive is hosted on Mchanga. Mchanga is a company based in Kenya, but it's a platform that hosts donations like this. We chose this platform because it's a secure platform. It's accessible to Tanzanian banks because eventually the money will have to come to our accounts in Tanzania. They also charge a low percentage in terms of processing charges. So all of that happening, we will keep you updated. We will be providing ongoing updates on the campaign and how the funds are being used. We want you to be informed. So please stay connected. We will tell you all of that in different ways. But we must say now, this is how we plan to use the funding that we are asking you to support us with. Your individual financial contribution will be allocated as unrestricted funds. Unrestricted funds are very good because then they don't have like a specific condition. This will enable us to support printing of the distribution of the magazine. It will also support FEMA clubs and school outreaches. It will support our continuing digital transformation. And most importantly, it will ensure that Femina HIP staff have the training and support they need to innovate and continue to grow the movement. So kindly stay connected. Sign up for our newsletter on our website. Also, you can send us emails on media@feminahip.or.tz. Also, connect with us on different social media spaces, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on X, on YouTube, and everywhere. Our handles are Femina HIP. That's how you find us. If you go on X, if you go on Facebook, and look for Femina HIP, you will find us there. And with all of that, I want to thank you very, very much for taking your time to, be with us here. Wishing you a very happy day if it's morning for you, or if it's evening where you are, a very happy evening to you. Asante sana.